everybody roll your shit.
But that's a good point. Z, you didn't call for Charlie.
Charlie is not playing.
You know of?
It's fine, guys. I got this. Everything is fine. Everything is fine.
Need an iris and a mat still.
I'm here.
You gotta roll on the boundary, Matt.
Oh.
The thinger that says click here to roll for the destiny pool.
I'm still loading in.
It's a good start.
It's fine. I was just gonna roll like 6 light side.
How do we do this every session?
You're
Like,
just
I can't-
statistically likely.
I cannot remember a time that we have not all except one of us rolled light side. I think we got all light side one time, and then we had to carry it over to the next session because we were so thirsty for them.
Yep.
It's fine. Everything is fine.
I'll just use a whole bunch of dark points. Then you'll get a whole bunch of light points. So.
Dark side point if he ends up with a hangover.
So, who wants to go over where everybody is? Because we are going to be gathering the party today.
Everybody line up. I vote Jedis say what they've been up to first. Because it's been a minute.
Well, this is all a flashback, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I assume Kane would have just been like enjoying his chill time waiting for the shoe to drop at the temple.
Joe,
Mm.
What?
what did Kane and Kana get up to? Just to revisit and refresh everybody. So Kane's not in jail, and
Yeah.
Okay. I'm confused. I thought you were saying what did they get up to while the party stuff was going on, and I was like, not really anything. All of it happened after the party. You meant to recap what they did do after the party.
yes, because the next time they are going to appear today is after all of that.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, Kane met with first he met with Lissy and they had a good spar, and Telsey, not fucking sorry, Telsey. Telsey.
Are you saying all Togruta look alike?
The names sound too similar and they do look alike.
Man, he said it.
But they had a good spar, and it helped Kane get out of his funk. And then they had the council meeting, which went better than expected. I was expecting it to be really bad, but it was pretty good, all things considered. And it basically culminated in Kane getting offered the opportunity to jump back in, provided he proves himself to the order, and the burden of proving himself was tasked, like he could get a new master, and he had to prove himself to the master. Well, it's a little confusing. It doesn't matter. Anyway, Lissy is his new master, and Lissy is still recovering from post-war struggles in a lot of ways. And she basically handed him a corrupted lightsaber crystal and was like, "You're going to purify this, and once you do that, we can then discuss about your Jedi Knight trials."
with also the caveat of Kane and Kana can continue to travel with Iffy so long as Iffy says okay to them
Mhm.
commandeering the Dawn and taking the group on missions as needed.
Yeah. To help work for the Order, and the Order will work for you. So it's a quid pro quo kind of thing.
And also with a request for Kane to come back on the following day to talk to Lissy again.
Mm-hmm.
During that time span as well, we've not gotten to the one-on-one quite yet, but Kana did have some interesting conversations while Kane was being monitored and meditating and sparring. And some interesting research was uncovered by Kana regarding a few things. And then, the night before the Jedi joined back up, Iffy, Tia, and Mindy were at a party for Iffy's honor. Or in Iffy's honor.
I don't know how much honor she has left to throw a party for.
Mm-hmm.
Came out
That's
of a
why it's
fucking, what
very
was it,
important that it's
oyster
in
show?
honor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they've had a couple of interesting interactions.
Yeah. We met back up with Rigi and with Dahlia and with Hayne, who were also there. And we also spoke to the lady from Churka, and we made some arrangements to have a business meeting with them tomorrow to discuss their new augment business, which is a military themed augment. They're looking to create some super soldiers, and Iffy was called over her rival to help with that meeting, and they'll probably be taking care of it tomorrow. Now, somebody has to go with Iffy to that meeting. So one of the other three fighty types is going to have to be there tomorrow. While the other fighty type goes with Rigi to learn all about whatever the hell he's doing today. Because Iffy is stealing his bodyguard. So she needs to provide a replacement bodyguard for the day.
Yeah, playing the very fun game of bodyguard shuffle with the other senators and ambassadors. Not known very far outside of senatorial circles, however, an unfortunate thing that many bodyguards, too important figures in the Republic, get very well acquainted to, I imagine.
It's like, oh, I gotta cover Greg's shift? I fucking hate that guy.
Ugh.
And also a very brief interaction with Zeltron's
Mm-hmm.
ambassador that has left the Zeltron ambassador a little miffed with Iffy. Just a little bit.
Just a tiny bit.
We did learn that they make some damn good drinks, though.
We
Strong
did.
as fuck.
We attempted a business proposal, so we'll see where that goes eventually. But the Zeltron ambassador cottoned on to the fact that Iffy and Tia are together as part of that exchange. Because Iffy was a little too upset about the way that they were talking to Tia.
I believe the end of last session you said that the last conversation you would like to have was to corner Yunvida, who is somebody else that was specifically invited, asked for an invitation, and then you weeded down to just a handful of outside corporate actors. And you saw interest in Yunvida, who is a representative from a lesser known, growing, but not bigwig company as of yet. I believe it Modern Technology Services, something in something. technology services. Look, man, I said we're attempting a coherent session tonight.
Modified technology systems.
There we go. See, I
Found
had
it.
the letters. MTS. And, invited her, and she has been schmoozing. You've seen her talking to several different people here and there. However, at this point, she has managed to kind of sit down at one of the bars and is engrossed in conversation with the representative from Shirka.
All right, squad, how would you like to approach this? Should we talk to them both?
Mm-hmm. Vibin'.
Okay. Let's head on over and talk with them then.
And as you walk over, you're a little surprised at first as you hear them speaking not loudly, just kind of a normal volume, or at least a normal volume for a loud party room. Back and forth in. Why did it just fucking leave my head? Huttese, there we go. Rather in galactic common.
Oh?
Interesting. Let me double check something here real quick. I don't think Iffy knows a ton of Huttese.
Tia does.
Well, if you want to take the lead there, then that's totally cool.
Yeah. Can make out what they saying, boss.
So you hear them talking. You speak Huttese, and you are fluent. However, they are speaking in very much corporate jargon within Huttese.
Mm.
So you understand like 75% of it. There's bits and pieces you're not fully sure what the meaning of it is. You can guess.
Can Mindy provide context?
Mindy should know Huttese as well, right?
I think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, between the two of you, I imagine with Tia saying, "This is what I think was said," and I missed this part, and Mindy being like, "Yeah, this is what they meant during that part." You can hear them discussing a couple of factories, and in particular, factories that they both corporations seem to be using. However, they are very specifically seeming to avoid saying what is being built there. And more interestingly, there is a couple of implications right before you get too close, where they end their conversation as they know somebody is within listening distance, or closer to listening distance than they would like to be. That there is a concern about a very large contingent of military either attacking or moving through a particular system that this facility is in. Almost like they, you would guess, are either gambling on there being military movement in the area, or they somehow know that there's going to be military movement there.
Interesting.
What can I meta question it? They say military movement. Which military?
They cannot tell. They're being very. They are speaking in Huttese, but they are even being kind of cautious with their Huttese.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Talk about that later. It's gonna be interesting.
Would you like to approach, or?
I mean, Matia's not going to jump into the Huttese conversation. I imagine she's probably just speaking with Mindy about what bits and pieces they can hear while they're, like, behind Iffy. Because I feel like Tia doesn't want to let on that they understood some of that.
I imagine this is quiet chatting, maybe a little bit further down the bar, right? We can try and eventually scooch on over once things seem a little more chill and they seem a little less paranoid, I guess.
Oh, they. As soon as you guys kind of come up to the bar, it takes a moment or two before one of them notices that you're there. And they immediately shift conversation.
Okay.
When it's just the underpaid bartender there, they don't give a shit. And those other people, they care a little bit more.
All right. Well, let's have Iffy flag the underpaid bartender and buy these ladies another round. And just, approach conversational distance, maybe take a seat next to them, and looks at Belle and smiles, waves. You know, it's wild how we keep bumping into each other like this over here.
And there's a very faint, polite smile. Nod of the head. Well, I would hope that you bump into everybody at the party here. Multiple times if it's in your honor.
That's true. It ain't often you get so many interesting conversation partners served up to you on a silver platter. Case in point, I have not gotten to speak to you yet. And she points to Yunvita.
Yunvita turns around and you can see she is relatively young Twi'lek. Dark skin and shockingly blue eyes, both iris and sclera. You know that, well, that's either cybernetics that she has, or that is some sort of modification that she has managed to get. And you're not quite sure what or how it is. And she is in a very simple, very form-fitting black dress that has a almost iridescence when she moves in the right way. It's both very simple and almost humble in comparison to some of the things other people are wearing, but also very flattering and flashy if she was to use it in the right way. And I imagine Iffy of everybody can appreciate that very fine line that she has found. And the only thing kind of out of place is that she does have a pair of kind of rose-tinted goggles that she has on top of her head. And you're not fully sure if it's some sort of fashion statement or if it's some sort of functionality or both. But she slowly kind of turns around and there's a smile, and you see it's big and easy, and at first glance, it's almost like, oh, this is just genuinely somebody that's here to be pleasant and nice and chatty. But then there's that little voice in the back of your mind of like, well, even if she just seems like this like innocent woman that's just here to be nice and is just naturally this outgoing or naturally this charming, there's a reason that she was sent by a company. She has to be good at her job. Still, she's got a warm smile, and she just immediately pushes a hand in Iffy's direction to shake. Oh, I was wondering if I was going to meet you. Thank you so much for the invite. It's not very often that we manage to get invites to these kind of soirees and gatherings.
Which hand is it?
Her right hand.
Her. Oh, wait, no, that's a problem. Um,
Isn't it?
is it? Wait, no. Hey, no, it's left. That's the problem. Okay.
Yeah. You're
All
good.
right. If you will shake, and looks her up and down, nice warm smile. Yeah, it's not often you get to trot out the best dresses, right? Some of these things, they just sit around in your closet. You never have an occasion for them.
And it's even less often you get to go shopping for them because of that.
Well, you kept the receipt, right? It's a tax write-off, you know.
And she just kind of looks down at her dress in consideration and shakes her head. I did not think to, because I'm going to be using this at every opportunity I can.
Well, you should. It looks wonderful on you.
She just kind of grins, and there's that little hand movement of like, oh no, and then kind of motions around. And you put together a lovely party, by the way.
Well, thank you. It's a bit short notice, so I'm a little limited in my capabilities here. Trust me, if I had the time to put together a proper shindig, this would be incredible. But it's still pretty good, I think. She takes a sip, looks out around the bar as if surveying, like some sort of general overlooking an army. Yeah, I think we did pretty good. What do you think, Belle?
And Belle, behind Yoon, just kind of raises up a glass. It's still just water, from what you can tell. This certainly is one of the better evenings I've had. Compliments.
Thank you, thank you. See, the thing is, I feel like the younger people in the Senate have got a real good hand for this sort of situation. It's always fun to shake things up, don't you think?
And Yoon just nods once or twice. Oh, there is something to be said about the liveliness that you get from some of the ambassadors and younger senators. I think some that have been around for a while just, well, from the impression I've been given, start to care a little less.
There's a laugh from Iffy. You know what the funny thing is? I think over the past month, I've started to care more about this job than I ever have.
And you see just an eyebrow raise and a tilt of the head. Really? Anything interesting? I mean, beyond you managing to sign a very good deal?
Well, it's about the deal, actually. The deal and the fallout from it, got myself a bit of first-hand experience with this whole war situation.
And there's a blink and like a raise of the hands to like to her lips and like the oh no. I hope hope you and all of your friends and whoever was in the situation with you are fine.
There's a smile from Iffy, but there's just a hint of the no, they weren't in the back of her head. Well, it certainly taught me that there's a lot more at stake here than I used to think, and that I've got a pretty good way of affecting some change if I want to. So it's definitely been on my mind.
And you see that Unita seems to be processing that, you can see the cogwheels in her head turning as she's trying to pick apart whatever that might mean. But she raises a glass and you see it is some sort of very fancy, you imagine a very fruity little cocktail in a cocktail glass. And she raises it in kind of a toast and then takes a sip before she carefully sets it back down and tilts her head. Yeah, there's something to be said about taking things a little bit more seriously, I imagine. War doesn't get into the core very often, so people just start to think, and she just kind of waves her hand, like in a vague gesture. Very clearly, like, yeah, it leaves their mind.
If he nods, yeah, and especially being from the cluster and all, we don't really get very involved in these situations. They sort of happen outside. A lot of my compatriots don't even really recognize that there is very much of a war going on. Hapes has got so many planets in and of itself that we tend to focus a little bit more on that drama.
Right till it comes knocking on your door, right? Oh, not saying that it would ever get to Hape, so I really hope not. Just
May the Queen Mother forbid it! And if he takes a sip.
Yoon gives a little nod and sips her drink as well, seemingly in solidarity, before she sets it back down and looks towards Belle. That's what, ideally, we're trying to do a little bit of with modified technology. And Belle has a little bit more experience with all of this from Circa. They're just stretched everywhere, aren't they? And there's a look from Belle that you're not sure how to read. That she kind of sends to you, but then focuses again kind of on a middle distance where she is listening to the conversation, willing to participate if needed, but is not jumping in either.
So, if the military stuff is more Belle's deal, then what's yours?
Well, I tried entering into the military things a few times with, a few blasters here and there, a grenade once or twice, but just never quite as good. We are a little better with, well, I guess you could say the more nitty-gritty of things. We specialize in mining and resource location and the development of what you need to, well, get the ore and the metals and the minerals and all of the other things you need to make everything.
Ah, that kind of stuff. Kind of an unsung hero, then, ain't you? Not super flashy work.
Well, I wouldn't call us unsung heroes. We're still not the biggest, but I do think we have some of the most interesting things coming.
If he tilts her head, yeah, what you got cooking?
And she kind of smiles and tilts her head. We have been working on a few things that involve more precise targeting of, well, minerals for the most part, at least right now. Imagine being able to, rather than having to mine and just hope that you hit what you're looking for, you know exactly where it is before you even break ground.
Wait a second. Is this like that thing that some animals do? Echo. What's it called?
Echolocation?
If he nods, snaps her fingers. Yeah, that's it. Is this like that?
And you see her kind of head go side to side. It's not too different, I suppose. You imagine echolocation bouncing off of trees and buildings and such to tell them where everything is. We fine-tune a machine to send us signals for exactly the ores we're looking for.
If he is interested in this, she will attempt to chat her up for some more details about this.
Okay. So, let me see here. Dun-dun. You can use negotiation.
I love to hear that.
And what is Eon's stats here? Wait. No! All of my NPCs are not coming up with their numbers right now.
Oh no!
What the fuck, man?
Boundaries over your head.
That's not cool. I think she was close to this. Let me. Okay, negotiation for her. 2 red, 2 purple.
Okay, 2 red, 2 purple.
She is not a government agent.
God damn it.
I could hear the intake of breath of like, is she? No. No.
Alright, well, that's fine. We'll see what we can get. Okay! 3 advantages is fine. Maybe, we don't get more details about this echolocation thing, but, friendly? It's all friendly?
Oh, yes. I mean, she seems to, like, be very interested in this technology, but from what you gather from her, she might even have worked on it.
Mm.
And she seems to be very cautious with sharing details on the technology itself. And a few of Iffy's questions she'll like yes or no to, but she seems to be holding herself back from almost seeming to go into a science babble.
This is very endearing. I find her very charming.
And so she's catching herself in the like, no, she's not going to understand this. Why are you even thinking about like talking about this? But there's no ill will. It seems to be more her kind of like, this is not the time nor place. But the like 1 or 2 things that you manage to gather from the conversation is that this is very new, very experimental technology still. However, in Yoon Vita's mind, and seemingly because Belle's reactions or non-reactions at time, something that Belle is both aware of and seems to be in relative agreement for how useful it might be.
Alright. Well, it's good to know, at least. Let's see. We already have the meeting set up with Belle tomorrow. Is there any way we could set up, I guess, like a... Can we do like a friendly business card exchange and a stay in contact? Can we see if she's angling to accomplish anything here now in particular?
Yeah, tell me how if you would ask.
So as they're chatting about all of this, I think at a certain point, Iffy's eyes narrow slightly, and she holds her head back in just that particular way that really emphasizes like her beakishness, her birdishness sometimes, and smirks and so you didn't just come here to talk science at me this whole time, right? It must be something else that drove you here.
There's kind of a pause, and like mouth open, slowly close, head kind of shifts side to side. I mean, it's always good to send representative to these parties and such, so that's reason number one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, MTS is still a very new and growing company, so having our name out there and having people around encourages investment. So, that's a large reason that we're here.
Investments, is it?
Science, unfortunately, is not free.
Well, that does depend on where you go, because some places it's subsidized actually very well and effectively, but outside of the cluster things schedules in that account, you know what I mean?
So you're saying that HAPE subsidizes the science in the cluster particularly well?
Well, it subsidizes whatever the Queen Mother wants, is the thing, so if you can make a case to her.
I don't know if that is easier or harder than getting funding from just whichever ambassador or senator or a person with too many credits that I can talk to.
Now, let me ask you something. I'm a person with too many credits and an ambassador, so are you intimidated talking to me?
Considering the number of drinks I've had on your tab, no.
If he smiles, nods, see, I'm a real nice haven. The Queen Mother, very intimidating. I'm terrified of her.
And there's a little smirk, and Yunvita just like lifts a glass. Well, then here's hoping I don't have to talk to her. And there is a small cough from Belle on the other side. And you very much feel like, oh my god, you said that.
If he will, on that cough, immediately be like, well, it's a great honor to talk to the Queen Mother. Of course, anybody would be thrilled and honored to, despite my, it must be said, healthy appreciation for the sheer power of the woman, of course. I would be beyond thrilled to receive such a summons.
This word vomit is being watched over the top of Yunvita's glass, and she is taking a little bit more than a sip right now.
The amusement is high in this moment. Yes, keep digging, Iffy. This is great.
What I mean to say here is, if you're looking for investments, you picked a pretty good person to talk to.
And there's a slow blink. The glass goes down. I wouldn't be so bold as to ask the woman whose this entire thing is in honor for. But if you are interested, I could send you some more information. Try to make it as not as rambling as possible.
Iffy. Just big smile still. Nod. You know, I would love to see it. The only thing I love more than parties is business. And I'll have my technical advisors take a look at it. She definitely means the rest of the party.
Hmm. And you see Unvita just start nodding. I will make sure to get it to you within the next few days then. Of course, even if you don't feel like investing anything or starting any type of business transaction with MTS, uh, even if you could give us a few good words to some friends, that might be very useful. I would very much like to keep my job in the near future.
You know who I could introduce you to that I think you would get along with?
And there's a little tilt of the head.
You've spoken to Reggie?
Oh god.
I imagine Tia, who's just been vibing, pleasantly listening, taking a sip of a drink, snorts into her drink.
Is Reggie the other ambassador?
Yeah, same Reggie over there. You see him?
And she looks over and gives a little nod. And you see Reggie has managed to get to a table where he seems to be playing sabacc, you think? And is still talking.
He would love chatting with you about this. Wait a second. Above table, Reggie said something about mining recently, didn't he?
Yes, he's talking about resources on his planet.
Yes. You know, he was actually just thinking about something a bit relevant to this whole mining situation. You gotta forgive me. The science of it is a little above me, but I think it's about the same sort of situation. I could introduce you. He's a bit of a chatterbox when he's excited.
That just means that I have to think of less things to say. I would be deeply appreciative if you could make the introduction.
Yeah, of course. Belle, you want to come back over?
And she just looks and she's like, I better not because I feel like I might end up losing more credits than I have.
Well, you don't place a bet?
I do not.
There's a pout from Ivy, but it's a very put upon pout. It's fun.
Oh, I am aware. I also am aware of all of the loans that I have.
All right, all right. Iffy will, with a polite, goodbye to Belle, attempt to extract Yunvita and make an introduction.
And Unvita just Belle seems a little. There's a little twitch to her eyes. She watches,
Mm-hmm.
but she doesn't stop. She doesn't move to interrupt or keep Unvita there. She just gives a little nod. Unvita will stand with you to follow you across the room. And you come up to Rigi at his table. Dahlia is also beside him, with her own hand, very focused on her hand. And Tane kind of standing a good couple of feet away, arms crossed. And Rigi is going on about his stock in Thracian Thumpers.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
Can we take a peek at their hands to see who's winning?
I was thinking the same thing.
Well, you see, from the chips and everything in front of everybody,
Mm-hmm.
that Rigi has a good handful, but you're not fully sure if that is because he is winning or that's because how much he just put in. But it looks like Dahlia has a little more than he does.
Good for you, Dahlia.
Seems to be in direct competition with a Rhodian across the table from her.
Mm.
Neither one of them seem to be paying any fucking attention to Rigi. All the rest of the table is, and they are losing. So maybe that's the strategy that has been going on. You're not sure if it's the actual strategy or if that's just how it's coming out.
I feel like it's Dahlia's strategy, and Rigi is not aware of it.
You know what? Shout out. I'm not gonna get in the way of that bag.
Mm-hmm. Have fun.
If he will wait until there's a slight break in the conversation. Just the slightest pause.
There's a pause as another hand goes out, and you see that this time the Rhodian seems to win. And before the Rhodian can even fully stop collecting all the chips and everything in front of him, that Dahlia is already signaling for another round. Another hand to be shuffled and handed out. She is in. She is determined. Rigi is here until his chips are gone, and he still has quite a few.
If he will cut in. Reed, can I bother you for a second? Just a second of your time, Mr. Ambassador.
Rigi just kind of looks up, a little surprised, and will turn his chair. Won't stand up. Will just kind of like turn his chair to face you more and away from the table. Oh, I didn't expect to see you again so soon.
Well, that's because I was talking to you and Vita over here, and I thought you were just the guy to introduce her to.
You see his eyes kind of shift and look over, and look Vita up and down, and she politely nods her head. He looks back to you.
You see, she's was it modified technology?
Yes. Modified technology systems.
She's with modified technology systems. She was just talking to me about some echolocating situation for minerals and mining.
And Vita just smiles. We like to call them useful resource locators.
There we go. That's exactly it. And I was thinking to myself, you know who was just talking to me about this sort of thing? You were, Rigi.
You see, his eyes widen just a little bit. He looks back to you, Vita. Oh, yes, if you've got some stakes and all of that, I'm sure that the two of us can manage to find a few things to talk about. And Vita just kind of smiles. Well, I am looking to see if there is anybody interested in the technology. It's still new, but it shows a lot of promise. Rigi kind of looks back towards you, Iffy, with this like, you're vouching for this kind of look.
Iffy gives a smile and a nod as if she's friendly enough.
And he just nods. Oh, why don't you pull up a chair then? If you're deal you in, and immediately Uni's like, no, I'm good. I do not need to be dealt in.
I'll take the chair though.
Rigi pauses and is like grins. It's like, coming in to lose a few credits, I see.
Iffy will laugh, lose a few credits. Can you get a load of this guy? She turns over toward Mindy and Tia.
Tia's suddenly remembering something that happened earlier. a little something she shared with Rigi. And Tia just shrugs. Hands up in the air.
Is she hearing Kill Bill sirens at all?
A little bit. But you know what? She's just gonna close the window. The sirens are outside still. It's fine.
Sirens playing in a distant room.
Yeah. To shrug. Just, you do never know. It might be interesting if you play.
Oh, it's a party in my honor, and I was the one who decided to dose it back, so why not? I don't mind picking a couple credits from a good friend.
And Luigi smirks. Oh, feel free to join us then, and you can sit in on it too, Rita. Tell us all about this new tech you've got. And Rita just kind of like antsy for a moment, and then Hane is the one that pulls up a chair and just kind of like pushes it almost in between the two of you, Rigi and Iffy. Just a little bit off, so she's not directly on the table to where she can like see and participate in things. But she is there to form something of a conversational circle. And she slowly sits down, seemingly a little nervous. But then, after a moment, the hands start to be dealt out. And Rigi makes a point to focus on her and conversation with what she is offering here. I'm gonna be real here. I do not have Sabak or Pazak rules pulled up.
No, that's totally fine. I figured we could just do an opposed roll and call it a day.
I was not planning on that this session.
Yeah, no, I don't need detail on that.
Okay.
So we could just call it an opposed roll if you want, and that'll be it. I'm fine with that. If he's good sense has fled her mind at the sight of the cards being shuffled. So she's forgotten that her want to gamble has overridden her. Oh fuck, I can't really shuffle with two hands anymore.
So you get dealt a hand, and it goes the first round or two. You can tell that essentially Rigi is good, but he is casual player good. Dahlia and the Rhodian, however, are damn near card sharks.
I love that for Dolly.
And you can tell just by like the first like pass or two, that both Dahlia and this Rhodian have been having a battle of wills. And now you are encroaching upon this battle of wills. Whether or not that makes it better for the two of them, or if that means that both of them are going to turn on you, you're not
She's
sure
third
yet.
partying. Third partying with no idea how it's gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
So, let me see here. Do... Gonna have you roll twice, once against Dahlia and once against Rigi, because Rigi knows shit.
Rigi has forbidden knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like next Tia is just asking Mindy, just like, so in theory, if I'm murdered, would you be able to save me?
Resurrection is not in her repertoire.
Right, but do you have antidotes for poison?
She could probably make one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, is this a real conversation or...
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I was not
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, sorry, so good.
I will do the voice next time. Sorry, my bad.
It's all good. I didn't either.
You're good. You're good.
You're good. It's just Tia's just like, So Mindy, here are various ways I could die soon.
It was nice to know you.
It was so nice to know you. Just asking Mindy, so how difficult is it to create an antidote for poison?
I will try to prevent your death.
Mm,
Just in case that's not possible, do you think you could just make some anyway?
how long is it good for?
Yeah, how long is it good for? How
Just
much of it do we
store
need?
some up.
Can I
How's it
just-
taste?
Have some on me. Like, can you make it into like a little candy for me and I can just keep on?
Yeah, it's gotta taste good. It's gotta taste good.
Actually,
That's
that's a
all
really
my
great
tongue.
idea. Can I try that?
Make antitoxin candy.
Can it be
Yeah,
cherry
like,
flavored?
is there downtime in this that I could work on that?
There is, I will say, that's not something you can do in Star Wars. It is something you can try to do with Finn.
Aw.
Damn, wrong universe.
Yeah, wrong
Damn.
universe. There's so many ways of healing shit in Star Wars. We're not adding to it.
So, what am I rolling here, Chief?
So, the first one is against Regi, which
Mm-hmm.
let me check the thing I have for him. Okay. He is 5 purple. You're going
Mhm.
streetwise.
Streetwise. Okay.
Unless you have an argument for something else.
Not off the top of my head.
The only other one I could give you maybe is coercion.
Coercion.
You're fucking lying in a gambling game, my friend.
I mean, I could see an argument for cool in that case.
I will let you roll cool
Isn't there
against
deception?
either. Oh, there is deception. Do you have deception?
I have cool and deception.
Okay, deception.
All right.
I always forget there's deception because I see coercion first.
All right.
It's
so
higher on the list.
you said 5 purples.
Yes.
Am I taking any penalties?
Yes, so you also have a black from him knowing your tell.
All right. And is my arm fucking me up at all here?
For this, because there's actually somebody dealing in everything, you're just holding the cards, really? No.
Mhm. All right. Fucking.
So, you do manage to beat Regi, and he seems to just have shit luck with his hand. But you realize that he is calling your bluffs all the same. There is something he has picked up about you that you have no idea how he picked up about you. You guys have not been around each other that much. And there's a part of your brain, Iffy, that's like, this man must just have like fucking magic Sherlock Holmes bullshit powers. He has figured something out. And
She's
you
a
are-
little shook.
Yeah, you're a little shook. So, for Dahlia,
Mm-hmm.
you will be taking a black from those 2 threats.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 5 red.
Jesus. That woman is not fucking around.
She is a
Good luck,
card
Chief.
shark.
Good luck. Good luck.
You know what? There's no shame in that.
Mm-hmm.
That's only 2 failures.
Yeah, you lose
Mhm.
20, or you blah 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 English, 100 credits.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to do 50 for each failure.
Okay.
And there is a little bit of wounded pride because you are so focused on, like, what the fuck has Rigi figured out for me? Like, why is he, like, calling me every time? Why is he so tuned in to what is going on that fucking Dahlia comes out of nowhere. You didn't expect anything from her. She has, like, fucking full house best hand in the game. And you did not even clock her. And that's another little ding to the back of your ego of, like, what the fuck? I am supposed to be good at this, and I didn't even notice her. And even the Rhodian had a slightly better hand than you. Not as good as Dahlia, but damn close. And you're just like, what the hell is going on at this table? You went from in your element to, like, off balance.
I imagine the smile on Iffy's face is getting more and more shaky as time goes on. And I feel like Tia has probably clocked the, oh no, there's a rant that's about to start.
Yep, she's just gonna step in here. Just do a little finger tap, Iffy, on the shoulder.
And turn a little too quickly.
Hi there, Miss Val. We do need to be heading back. You do have that conference call that starts in a bit.
Conference call. Yeah, conference call. That's important. Well, it sure was fun playing with all of you.
And Reiji will just smile, even though he lost his hand. It's like, oh, well, it's a pleasure having you at the table, and thank you very much for this lovely introduction. And nods towards you and Vita, who the two of them have been going back and forth. A little bit. Not as much as Yoon seems to want, because Reiji got clocked into the game.
Mm-hmm.
But there has been some conversation. As you, like, look past Reiji to Dahlia on his other side, there is just the little, tiny, almost evil smile. And, like, 2 or 3 fingers wiggles in your direction of a bye.
Oh, God. There's just pleading eyes to Dahlia from Tia. Like, please no, she's already riled up, please.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I have to play again sometime, especially you, Dahlia. I had no idea you were so good at this game.
Miss Val, we do have that conference call starting very soon. We do need to get going.
It's just, I want to know where she learned to play. How long have you been playing this?
Oh, just since I was a child, in all honesty.
Child? She's been playing since she was child, she says, turning to Tia.
That is incredibly interesting. And I think it'd be very fun to play her again in the future. However, we do need to get going now. Right, Mindy?
That is an unhealthy habit for a child.
Oh my god.
Dahlia's eyes, like, move over to Mindy, and there's, like, a quirk of a brow. Well, you do what you have to entertain yourselves.
Did you have a traumatic childhood?
Just gonna put a hand on top of Mindy. It's like,
Poor fucking Tia! It's like, we are moving, everyone is leaving, we are gone.
Tia's like, I swear, we're normal, I swear. She put a arm around Mindy. It's like, looks at Dahlia, just like, don't have to answer that. We do need to get going. It was so lovely to see you again. Really, it always is a pleasure to see all of you. Unfortunately, our time is up. Right, Miss Fell? We do have to get going.
I imagine that Iffy is still, like, half turned toward them. And it seems like she's about to say something again.
You just have to yoink if you want her out of this situation. You have to yoink her.
Fuck it, just gonna yoink her then. One arm around Mindy's shoulders. Just gonna loop her arm around, around Iffy's. It's like, and I am going to pull my bodyguard privilege here. Since I am driving us, we do need to go right now.
Right? Right now. Okay.
Yes, Val. You told me to remind you and to make sure you didn't miss this conference call. It's very important.
But I haven't finished the intake.
What? What?
Yeah,
turn to look at
Mindy
Mindy.
hasn't finished the intake. This is very important information. I mean, I thought I was good. I mean, I've been playing since I was a bit older than a child, I guess. She's
Side
just
eye
gonna
from
keep rambling.
Mindy.
She's just, oh my god.
Yoinking,
Yeah, it's just-
yoinking is occurring.
She's just gonna
This is
start
full fire
walking.
alarm.
She's just gonna start walking. It's like, no, we are leaving. It's like, wonderful to see you all. Bye bye. We do need to get going now. Watch your step. No, we're leaving. We're fucking leaving now. Both of you. Holy shit.
We will depart the party after, I mean, I don't even know if Tia's going to let us do one last round to say goodbye to everybody. But
No.
we're
no.
leaving.
We're fucking leaving. It's like, oh man, we can't be weird around Dahlia. We can't.
Multiple times as they're going. I imagine if he starts up, but I just think it's funny.
Oh my god. No, in the car. Both of you get in the fucking car. Get in the
getting in the
whatever
car.
the Star Wars.
We're getting in the
Cybercar.
speeder. We're getting in the speeder. We're going back to the apartment.
Yes.
Uh,
There is a conversation, Mindy. You cannot just ask someone if their childhood was traumatic. You can't just ask someone why they're white.
Children do not normally gamble.
Children don't normally do a lot of things.
Tia is just forehead to the top of the fucking steering wheel. Just. Why? Why? She's regretting the split up. Next time Khan is going with them.
I feel like she's gonna tell Kate about this later, and Kate's gonna be like, no. You had to have intercepted her before she gambled.
We're going straight to the apartment. No pit stops.
Yep.
okay, you managed to extricate Iffy and Mindy before they cause too much of a scene. There was a moment where, after Mindy's like, "Did you have a traumatic childhood?" The Dahlia just very clear, what the fuck? And Regi's choking on his drink, what the fuck? And you see both of them reacting very strongly, but Tia had started to pull them away before they could say anything.
As soon as I get there, she's sending them both apology messages.
But no further major scene was had. There was a few curious glances at the very clearly bodyguard dragging Iffy out. But yeah, that's also kind of expected at a party too, so, better or worse.
No one is leaving this apartment until tomorrow.
And you managed to get back without any issues and have a relatively quiet evening at Iffy's apartment. Is there any last minute things you would like to do that evening for any of you?
She's probably going to send some messages to a bunch of people now that she has locked the apartment door. No one is fucking leaving.
Yeah, there's time for follow-up messages, although I don't know if Iffy's allowed to send any while she's heated.
No, No, she's not.
Is she
Her data
just
pad
like
was confiscated.
was confiscated? She's just like telling Tia, okay, well, you have to email this person.
Do you remember how heated I was in Among Us?
Yeah, that's
what I'm imagining.
Yeah.
What Iffy is right now. It's like, no, you're not allowed to message anyone right now. You are going to drink this water and go to sleep.
It's like you're not even allowed to do like your nightly like Sabak Pizak games because then you're just gonna be losing money and get even madder because you're going in heated already. No.
Yep. Yeah, no, fuck no.
If
And
you
also
try to
Mindy.
sneak in some online.
Yeah, absolutely not. No, and Mindy, we are sitting down and we are having a talk
About boundaries.
about boundaries and about first interactions with people. At least save those kind of questions until after you know them pretty well.
Listen, psychoanalysis is a kind thing to do for strangers.
Mindy, not on first meeting, please. At least wait till the third.
Third,
Can we agree on that?
she like writes down in a data pad, third meeting.
Third meeting where you interact with them for at least 10 minutes. Each time. Not just spotting in a hallway and passing by. That does not count as a meeting, Mindy.
She'll take meticulous notes of this protocol you expect her to follow.
Tia is just going, after all this is over, she's going to send messages to a bunch of people, and she's going to end the night with messaging Kana before she goes to bed. Is this karma? There is no context. There is no context.
In my head, Kana got that text while she like was half asleep, kind of thing. You know,
Yeah, because it's like 2 in the morning or something.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, it's like 2 in the morning.
She's in her book pile. She had dozed off. She hears the vibration. Looks at her data pad. The fuck? And goes back to sleep.
Did she reply yes?
Please, John Red.
Wait
You
a
should have
second.
new
Wait a second.
appreciation for like, oh, this is what it's like. But then I'm added into the mix too. Oh no.
I'm
Hey.
supposed to be the chaotic one. What the fuck?
Hey, Amy.
Mm-hmm.
What's your vigilance?
I don't fucking know. Hold on. Why?
Reasons?
Tia sleeps like half the amount of time if he does.
It'll be red.
Mindy has an incredibly high vigilance. I just want to point that out.
Yeah. It's very clear. You know what? Mindy, help. It's explained if he cannot have her data pad until tomorrow.
She's gonna try and steal it, so I need an opposing.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do it against Mindy's?
Yeah, sure.
So it's I have hang on, I think it's 2 yellow
You're
and a
red.
green.
1 yellow, 3 green from Mindy.
There you
So
go.
that's 1 red, 3 purple.
You're purple. Mm-hmm.
Help from Tia would put a black.
Mm-hmm.
However, I am amused. So add a green.
Oh my god.
Oh.
3 threat.
You think that you got it, and then you turn around and Mindy is standing right there, looking at you with her beady robot eyes.
I feel like Iffy just sort of jumps and yelps a little bit, and she loses her grip with only one good hand. That means she drops a fucking data pad. And she's like, oh, well, Mindy, funny seeing you here. Weren't you power cycling?
I thought I heard something. Are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I'm just gonna... And then she tries to reach for the data pad again.
I thought you couldn't have that this evening.
Please.
How would please affect Mindy? Shouldn't you ask Tia?
Oh. Tilts head back. TT. Can't I just have my data pad for 1 second?
And Tia was on her way over because she heard commotion, conversation. Just looks at Iffy, looks at Datapad on the ground, picks up Datapad, tucks it under one arm, looks at Iffy.
Visible heartbreak. Visible heartbreak.
She's going to hand the Datapad over to Mindy, actually. She's going to pick Iffy up, slung over the shoulder like a fucking sack of flour.
Hey,
Terribly sorry about this, love. The answer is no. It was no. It's not changing anytime soon.
there's always wiggle room in negotiations, though.
Not this time. Fucking Iffy back in the room. Pause it.
The wiggle room is that Tia decides to spend part of the night creating a data pad that is child locked
Yes.
for these situations.
New objective.
She just
We're
wants
like-
to do her dailies.
The only person she can talk to is like Kane, Kana, and Tia.
Yeah, only the crew. Can't talk to anyone else. Child
No
locked data
Zabak,
pad.
no Pizzak.
Crew
There
and
is.
YouTube videos with no comments available.
YouTube kids.
She's gonna be watching the fucking Wiggles. There's your wiggle room.
There is
Wiggle,
a-
though?
Yeah. There is a Pizzak. There's one Pizzak app, right? However, it's the one that doesn't allow multiplayer.
It's just single player and
It's just
no
single player.
microtransactions.
No microtransactions. You only play against bots. No.
Oh, this is incredible. Thank you all so much.
Mm-mm. Thank you, Mindy.
That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You get through the night, and it is peaceful and calm, and into the next morning, you all wake up relatively early, not stupidly early. Relatively early to get your day started. And for the sake of adjusting things and getting things to happen in a timely fashion, the Jedi woke up really fucking early for all of their shit. So, about the time that you have ate breakfast, kind of sat and absorbed news that might be happening, and kind of figured out what you're doing, where you're going, what the, like, general layout of the day should be, you get a message from, well, I'll turn it to Joe and Iris of, like, who tells whom what? Or do both of you just start messaging the others? The results of Kane.
Congratulations, it's Jedi.
Oh, it's one of those nights, isn't it?
You do like a Jedi gender reveal, and it's either blue or red.
Mhm.
Oh, come on, which Jedi gender are we getting?
Mm-hmm.
It's Kane's news.
I hope it's red.
Kane, same. Kane would be. He would tell Kana as soon as he was like had a minute to breathe and had room to tell.
Iffy?
Or Iffy. Yeah, he would tell Iffy. Kana
Aww.
already knows. Bleh. He would
This
probably try to like find her and like seek her out bodily if he was permitted to do that.
Yeah. So you can would he would still have to like say like send a message like where are you? Would he give any
Yeah.
context beyond where are you?
Yes, he would say a decision has been reached. I'd like to tell you in person if possible. Proper punctuation, proper spacing.
And does he send this in the evening or in the morning?
Morning.
Morning.
Okay, in the morning, because he's not giving a response in the evening. I imagine if his datapad is turned over to her at some point in the morning, there's some sort of sobriety test she has to pass, I'm guessing.
Yes.
You have to blow into the breathalyzer to unlock it.
Over breakfast.
Mindy, actually, one of her fingers is a breathalyzer. So she'll be the
Perfect.
Yeah, so you blow the Mindy, and then you unlock it.
No.
Cody said it.
Okay, hold on.
Joe, the chat's yelling at you.
I did nothing wrong.
Lies. Lies and slander.
Yell all you want, chat. I am immune.
Oh my god. Oh man.
It's one of those nights.
It's one of those nights.
It's one of those nights. Yes, once
After-
if he passes the Mindy-lizer, pancake breakfast before her iPad is turned over.
It's breakfast. She gets her iPad. She sees, I think when she sees the message from Kane, she doesn't even look at anything else. And she's like, sends back, it was, I'd like to tell you in person if possible. I'm at the apartment. I'm at the apartment and I'm clearing my schedule for you.
Aw. Then Kane could immediately be like, all right, I will be right over. No, be very prompt. And for safety's sake, he would shoot a message over to Kana and say, like, I'm going to go to Iffy's apartment.
The two
and...
of you would be together at this point.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So it takes not too long for Kane and Kana to grab a speeder and make their way to Iffy's apartment, because I imagine Iffy's apartment is relatively close to the Senate building. So it is, same neighborhood on Coruscant, essentially. And you get there and everybody sees each other. A morning Iffy, Tia, and Mindy, mostly ready to get on with their day, and a very awake Kana and Kane, who have been up for several hours now.
I think when Kane gets to the door, like, in my head, it's like Kane's coming to the door, knocks on the door. Obviously, if he doesn't open her own fucking door, Tia opens the door, is what I'm imagining here.
Tia or Mindy? I feel like Tia is still making pancakes.
Mindy, are you opening the door?
Okay,
Mindy
just buzz
will
them
open
in.
the door.
Hell yeah.
We buzz him in, and then Mindy opens the door. And I think if he sees Kane standing there, and she was like scrolling through her stock feed or whatever, trying to catch back up. But the second that she sees him, she gets up and she walks over to him, and and this is a terrible time to get a phone call. Give me 1 second.
The suspense. This is a good opportunity, though, for me to ask. Oh shit. DM is. Would Kane, as a sort of his reinitiation, could he be admitted like some type of re-up on his Jedi uniform?
Yeah, he could have gotten a uniform again if he'd wanted while he was there.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. Because I imagine Sorry. Well, I'm adding a bit to the canon so that
Okay.
So Kane, I imagine like being re-upped with Lissy, he would want some sort of symbol to represent this on his attire, because to him, like, uniforms mean a lot to Kane. That is something that I think is pretty apparent from his demeanor. So like he would wear some semblance of Jedi uniform, while still wearing like the armor and attire that he got from Iffy, just with like a Jedi robe or some sort of robe-esque thing thrown on top of it, or thrown in addition to it,
And
so that he's like both.
it doesn't clash with his shit too much either, though, because he's wanting to like be very specifically in line with Lissy. Lissy and most of her Padawan have tended to wear black and gray.
Perfect.
And then, of course, he would also have to display prominently that braid.
Mm-hmm. So it would be very visually obvious, sort of what the judgment call was when you saw him
Aw.
wearing, I imagine, gray robes, because foreshadowing.
So I think if he sees him, and I think that there's an immediate recognition that something has changed, and Kane, you see her well up a little bit. She comes over and she just looks him up and down and touches the braid and then adjusts the robe slightly and draws him into a really big hug.
Aww. Kane would hug back. And then he, like, it's a nice, friendly, warm embrace, and then leans back and just goes, "Are you still wearing makeup from last night?"
If he starts wiping at her eye with her good hand and just sort of laughs and, it's waterproof mascara. I don't skimp out.
How did everything go while I was away? While we were away? Like, looking at some Takana.
If he holds up a hand, shakes her head. No. I'm not talking about that now. Not when... Look at you. You did it.
He kind of, like, shrugs and does the little bashful gesture of, like, looking down and away and just goes, "I did it. Everything
You really
went
did.
much better than expected." Which is a huge relief.
It was a lot less scary than the Sith, right?
He pauses to think about it and then nods. But there is a time that he does think about it.
And if he will, still dabbing at her eye a little bit, "I'm really proud of you, Kane."
He smiles and his eyes kind of glisten with the not quite tears. "Thank you." So, the good news with the somewhat medium news: this is not a full acceptance back. It's sort of a test. As are many things with the Jedi, this is a trial period. I have to prove that I'm capable of doing it. And if I prove that, they'll accept me, and I'll be considered for my Jedi Knight trials. But I have to make sure to avail myself to the Jedi, to the Order, if they have need of me. And I hope that's okay, because I did make it clear that I want to stay with you and the crew.
You told the Jedi you'd rather stay with me?
Yes, he seems a little like, yeah, of course.
If he is very touched by this, Kane, you've never let me down. Not once. I know you're not going to let these Jedi down neither. I just hope I get to hang around with you for a couple more years at least, right?
He smiles and nods, and there's a there's like a distant anxiety that it like spawns with that sort of like maybe eventually there will be a parting, but it is years away, so he doesn't have to think about it right now, and so he pushes it out of his mind.
Fortunately, kind of peeks her head around Kane, like, yeah, I'm here too. Fortunately, we were both assigned to you for the time being.
Iffy is a little stiffly, and so when she sees Kana, she's a little surprised. It's a very, oh shit. Not an angry one or anything, but just, oh,
you're here.
Kana. I'm glad you're staying around, too. Look, how about we all have some breakfast, huh? I got a little too heated last night, and so we're having pancakes with extra berries and cream cheese and all the fixins. Apparently, it's to calm me down.
Kane
Calm me down
nods.
from what?
Gambling. It's a question mark, but it's also a statement.
I just think it's funny how this girl, I don't even know. He's going to start up unless she stopped.
I feel like
Jane.
that's when I feel like from the kitchen couldn't quite hear the conversation, but I imagine if he raises her voice on her wind up. hear
Yep,
out
she
from-
absolutely does.
Yeah, you just hear from the kitchen. If you do realize if you don't calm down, you're not getting your data pad back.
If he looks toward Kane, I was given my data pad back on a probationary period.
He does like the oh kind of face. Well, I hope it was at least a productive round of gambling, however long and or short it may have been.
Yeah, I mean, I lost 100 credits, but we got some important intel.
Okay, 100 credits. That could be worse. That's minimal losses.
Not about the credits, though. It's about the circumstances, because
It's the principle of the matter. I understand.
if he, who was starting to wind up, calm. She's like, yeah, you get it.
It's like a there shoulder patch. It's like, I know. No, they had it coming.
We'll get it next time if.
Kane, the fucking iffy whisperer.
If he will lead everybody back to the table, and then I will step away very briefly to handle the groceries. But I will be back in 5 to 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
All right. I imagine there are pancakes and berries, and some of the pancakes have berries in them. It's a very fun breakfast. And I imagine that as soon as they round the corner, is Mindy with them, or was Mindy chilling with Tia?
Mindy answered the door and probably stayed with them until they go to the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Right. Once they round the corner, she takes a final pancake off of the little pan onto the numerous towers of pancakes she has made. She likes breakfast foods, and is very apparent, because she made a lot.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah. But there's
5 to
a
10
big...
minutes, bitch. What?
I tried
It's
to
just
help,
groceries in the West.
and Charlie did not want my help. So
Thank you, Charlie. Yeah, Kane rounds the corner. Big smile and a wave from Tia. Kana rounds the corner. Tia puts down the pancakes. Tia runs and tackle Kana in a hug.
Sidestep?
No.
Try to juke a hug.
You know how Ryan's charge you can cancel at any time? Yeah. It's that. Try to sidestep. Nope. Pivots on a heel. Turn. Grab. Big hug. Big hug. There are obnoxious cheek kisses and head kisses. Big squeeze. Rocking back and forth. It's like, Connie, I didn't know that you came in here. I've missed you so much. How have you been? It's been forever.
Real quickly, out of the corner of your eye, you see Mindy taking notes on a data pad.
Oh no. Tia, it's been less than a day.
And I've almost died without you. How many times so far? It's truly been too long.
Just eye roll, but returns the hug.
Happy smile. Eventually we'll release Kana and pat Kane on shoulder. I hope you both are a bit hungry at least. I made a bit more than I was expecting to make. I think I was a bit too excited.
Oh, I'm willing to eat to my heart's content if that's okay with the rest of you. And he'll just sit down, just grab a fucking stack of however many pancakes are available.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm famished as well. So food sounds great.
Tia's so happy.
Just gonna pick up like a strawberry or something and just eat it.
Get a plate of pancakes. Tia will give everyone a plate of pancakes, and she probably also gives Mindy a plate of pancakes too, because she keeps forgetting Mindy's a droid. She'll sit down, and then she will also begin to eat, because not only does she love cooking breakfast food, she fucking loves eating breakfast foods.
Over the course of breakfast, all of you are able to kind of download on the details of what has happened, and I will say that you also get a download on as much as Kana would be willing to tell of what Kana found out, which will ideally, between me and Iris, we will discuss that before next session, and she can fill you in on what Kana says at the start of next session.
Cool.
And it quickly becomes apparent that because of the very busy schedule that Iffy has laid out for herself for the day, especially considering the fact that both what she was talking to the senator about the day prior and what she expects the situation will be with her conversation with the senator and Lysandra at the Senate building as soon as she gets there, both will probably have short time periods. So you all have that very firm idea that you won't be on Coruscant for another day or two, maybe, but you guys are going to have to leave as soon as you can. So everything has to be done quickly. And there's that sudden dawning realization, especially for Tia, Kane, and Kana. Oh. There's so many things that we are going to have to divide and conquer. With the I'm sorry, English just left the brain. Let me try to get it back on track.
Reel it in.
The divide being somebody has to stay with Iffy, ideally. Especially since Hayne is going to be there at some point. Somebody has to go with Regi since Hayne is being called over. And Mindy needs to get these upgrades done in a timely fashion that Iffy has already paid for Mindy. And it's best to send somebody out with the droid if the droid is about to get put off commission or out of commission for a little bit to fix them up.
Okay. Pseudo above table conversation time.
Yeah.
So Kane knows Hane markedly well. They're on medium good terms, like a mutual respect kind of thing.
He should go with Iffy.
I was gonna say that. I didn't want to tell Tia not to go, but I was like,
No.
I feel like the jealous girlfriend thing might come up.
No, it's. I think that Kane should go with Iffy.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it'd be good to send either Kana with Reiji and Tia with Mindy, or switch those two.
Agreed.
I feel like Kane with Ippy is like a lock-in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I could see either Kana or Tia going with Reiji because Kana has good ambassador vibes and would be a good fit. But also Tia has rapport with him already because the thumper.
And I guess it depends. Where are we taking Mindy? Do we know where? Because that might not be a place where we want a Jedi to be. Depending on where we're going.
Point. If we're going to like back alley Joe's like fucking droid shack.
Yeah, so it might be best to not have Jedi go with Mindy.
So this is one of the things I'm going to railroad you guys into.
Okay.
I'm going to advertise that right here and now.
Okay.
There is a mod place, both for droids and for modding cybernetics, that Iffy has heard about from other ambassadors and senators. It's not necessarily like above board, but it's also not back alley. It's more of the, we'll keep our mouths shut. That's why a lot of the people in the Senate like using it. And that would be where she would advise Mindy to go, because that is the only place that Iffy, being a Hapen, has seriously heard about for these things. So it is like a quiet private clinic type thing, if you catch the drift.
So, those are my thoughts.
Do either of you guys have a preference?
Good.
I was just going to say I am fine with Kane going with Iffy. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think Tia and Mindy have a bit of a friendship already, so it makes sense for them to go together. And for Kana to want to try and secure ambassadorial internship experience. But that's just my thinking on the matter.
I'm pretty cool with either. Like I don't have a preference.
I don't really have a preference, but the logic Kira just gave was sound to me. That works.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm down. We planned this over breakfast.
Yeah, I was also going to say, I do think it would be more funny to watch Kana deal with Reiji.
Yes, absolutely.
Not nervous at all. Not at all.
No, not at all. You just gotta mention that I don't know if it'd be better or worse for Kana to mention that she's Tia's friend. Probably be better for their relationship and rapport with Reiji. Probably worse for Kana's sanity. So, permission to use that card if you dare.
I'll keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Kane with Iffy, Kana with Regi. Actually, let me do this. So I can keep some of my shit sorted. So we have Regi and Dahlia. And where's the player folder? There it is. Kana.
Just to make sure, Regi is an ambassador, not a senator.
Yes.
That ambassador, yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
just wanted to make sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Noodlehead Squad.
I'm pretty sure that's a slur against
Kane,
them,
you
Joe.
can't
How
just
dare
say
you?
that.
And
First he said all to
Not in
Garuda
character.
look alike.
Not in character.
Tia and Mindy.
Droid.
And then we have Belle. And
Cody, with your permission, I imagine that Tia does fuss over Mindy a little bit.
Plus how?
As in, like, make sure there's no dust on her.
Dust? Do you think she's dirty?
No, Tia is just very...
She is a highly educated droid. She knows lots about hygiene.
No, it's like the excuse to, like, touch someone, like, brush something off their shoulder. She's just a very touchy person.
Okay, that was a good save.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Joe.
Yes.
Did Kane ever tell Iffy about that conversation he had with Hain?
You know, I don't think he did.
It's kind of important, isn't it?
It's a little important.
A little bit. A little bit.
Listen, there was a lot going on in that short span of time. It slipped his mind.
I feel like there's also a lot going on now, so I could also see him not doing it now.
It's still slipping his mind. It's really slippery.
Hain talked about your family, who you never introduced her to. Ain't that a little weird, Iffy?
It's fine. Just don't. He'll remember.
Eventually.
At
Eventually.
the worst possible moment.
Right after she says something.
Damn it.
Also, every time I see Hain's token, I am reminded that this token does not fully convey the risqueness of her full character picture.
Iffy only dates baddies, dude.
I love seeing the organized tokens on the map. It makes my brain very happy.
There's also one other person that is here. I just had to get their fucking token.
The other gunslinger.
The other gunslinger. Okay. So, we are going to start with Tia and Mindy. So I can get them over to the market. But I need a quick break. I'll be right back.
Alright.
Bathroom break.
Bathroom break.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay, I just came back. What are we doing?
Break. Bathroom break.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm back.
Welcome
Amanda.
back.
Were you silent or were you silenced?
Mindy was silenced.
Yes, she was.
Listen, she was trying to do a stranger a favor.
It's like, Mindy, please. Mindy, please. Iffy, please. I just need you guys to be normal for like 2 more minutes.
Okay, I am back.
Welcome back.
Wait.
I have an Amy?
Hello.
And I heard the Cody. Do we have a Matt? Is Matt conscious?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Can you ask them?
Matt, did you ever send me character art?
No, I wasn't sure how that worked on Foundry.
Just post it in your channel, and I can drop it into your profile for you. Okay, okay.
Is that Kane pacing nervously in the background of the meeting?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
All right. So we start off with Tia and Mindy heading out towards one of the market areas near the Senate building. It's busy, but the places there are a lot of businesses that either people don't have to go to very often, or places that ambassadors and senators, while they do have to visit them from time to time, they don't care to advertise. So it's usually a place that is frequented in off hours more than your standard business hours. And you're going right at the early part of a day shopping hours. Tia and Mindy, do either of you try to stop and swing by anywhere beforehand, or are you just going right there to get this done and over with and get the upgrades done?
Tia would love to pick a couple pit stops.
What type of pit stops are you trying to make?
Probably a snack pit stop.
Mhm.
Tia has a bit of a bottomless stomach. And she is definitely going to hit up a little sunglasses booth with Mindy.
Oh my
She's
God.
going to make it a fun little trip. It's a fun little trip with a new friend. She is going to take pictures, and she will ask Mindy to also take selfies with her with different sunglasses. But she's steadily making her way. It's not taking too long. It's just like, hey, let's check this out real quick. Spend 5 minutes here, go along further away, another 5 minutes here or there. Fun little day out.
Why do I feel like, again, trying to put something on Mindy is like putting a shirt on a cat or a dog and they just stop moving?
That is exactly it.
Short circuit Mindy.
Aw. She would ask before she put it on. But even if Mindy doesn't want to put on sunglasses, she will still ask if she'd like to join with selfies.
Cody.
Ask if she wants to what?
Take selfies with Tia. Sunglasses or not.
She's gonna respond that she doesn't know what selfies are.
Time to learn.
She will reluctantly pose for photographs, but her posing looks exactly like her just standing there.
Incredible.
Can
Yeah, little
a
slight detours.
droid have awkward body language? That is a question.
I think by default, like C-3PO is not standing normally.
Yeah, no, they'll go to objective.
You take a little bit of time, and in some ways, for both of you, this, while there is an objective, it is nice and peaceful after being the two in charge of EotE last night. Now the two of you are free for a couple hours. You managed to get to this cybernetics clinic. Place to primarily upgrade and mod cybernetics. Implant a few for those that need, like, organics that need them, and upgrade and mod droids. It is not a oh, what the fuck, the doctor on Skip One, I forget his name off the top of my head now.
Ratha?
Yeah, it's not like Ratha's clinic where it's full on clinic and, you know, you can see that there's some intense stuff that goes on there. This is almost set up to be a day spa at the front, at the very least. But as you step inside, there is a nice young receptionist, young Twi'lek, that seems a little surprised that you come in. And kind of tilts her head. We weren't expecting anybody in. Do you have an appointment that needs changing?
Quick question. Do we, DM? Did Iffy
Nope.
make appointment? No? Okay. Okay, cool.
Lie.
She's just been
He
told
loves
to
to
not.
lie.
She's just been told to not lie. And now you want her to lie? Pick a lane.
She's been on behavior. She gets one lie. Just as a treat.
Just as a treat. Alright. Tia is going to walk forward and give a friendly smile at the receptionist. Hi there. I'm so sorry, are we in the right place? This is the insert name here, correct?
And there's a slow nod. There's still confusion.
Oh, that's wonderful. We've been having a bit of trouble finding it, but luckily we made it here. Did you say an appointment? Is that really necessary? I was told that you do take walk-ins on slow days.
Walk-ins for what exactly?
It's quite a simple procedure, I believe. It's just a cybernetics placement.
Cybernetics on you? You don't look like you have any, ma'am.
You are very sharp indeed. It's not for me, it's for my little friend here. Gestures to Mindy.
I offered to do it myself.
Slowly looks over at Mindy, and then there's, oh, kind of that dawning on her face. Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you're needing. 1 second. And she turns and kind of disappears back behind the counter and back into a room. And Raven, you hear incoming footsteps. And you've worked here for a little while. You've seen a couple of receptionists come and go. This one's been here for a couple months now. She seems to be fairly set. She's doing a decent job. In large part, you're pretty sure because she gets away with, you know, just being able to fuck around on her phone for like 90% of the day until people show up. But she kind of steps around the corner into your work area that you've been allowed in this business and looks you up and down. What is Raven's default position when they're just like not expecting any work, just have the free time in their quote unquote office area, workshop area?
Blank stare.
she just kind of blinks for a moment. We just had a walk-in for a cybernetics implant into a droid. Do you have the time?
Walk-ins, we don't do walk-ins.
Well, not very often, but I mean, if they're thinking they have the opportunity to walk in, that means that they probably have the money.
Did they say where they were from?
Do you want me to ask?
No.
It looked like a medical droid. I'm not sure what the cybernetic was, but can't be anything too bad, right?
Yeah, you're right. It can't be too bad.
And she kind of nods. So I will take them to. Do you want the back chair away from the door, or?
Yes, that's good.
And she just gives another little nod. I will take them back there. And closes the door behind her as she leaves. And next thing you know, Tia, Mindy, she's coming back around the corner and just like waving for the two of you to start walking deeper into the building with her. It takes you past several kind of chairs and stalls used for the more minor upgrades, and you imagine for droid upgrades that don't require your too much intensity. And around a corner to where you are kind of across the way from a more what looks more like a surgical suite. And there's one final chair across from it. And she motions for you to sit in that one, Mindy. Our technician should be out shortly. They are just wrapping up a few things. Can I ask where you heard about walk-ins here?
Now, if I'm remembering correctly, you said that this place was used by senators and people in the Senate because of their discretion, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, Tia is going to just put one finger on her chin as she thinks for a second, tapping it. Well, we were told by our employer. She does work nearby, and she made sure to let us know that we could come here because you guys would be very understanding for. What was the word that she used? Discretion?
And you see the lips kind of tighten just a little bit. Ah, I see. Well, uh, just to be clear, and she see her like start to pull out a data pad and starts flicking through it. What type of upgrade are we doing for your droid here?
It's gonna turn to Mindy.
Implantation of a neural recorder.
Oh, okay. It's an interesting one. And have you had any of these custom cybernetic implants before? Are you still
Uh,
stock medical droid?
a couple. She holds up her hand, and like her fingers start turning into different tools. She has a toolkit hand,
Mm-hmm. And
and I actually think that's it.
see the tree kind of lean a little closer, squinting at the hand before giving another little nod. Okay. And
Oh, wait, sorry. She does have another one in her head. It's a droid interface.
Okay, she's marks each of these down as you tell her, and keeps glancing between the two of you. You're not sure if it's discomfort or just her general, like, energy. As she finishes writing these couple of things down, she looks towards Tia. And are you claiming ownership of the droid?
He turns, gives a bit of a grin at Mindy and the girl, trying to, like, I don't know, set her at ease a bit, because this is nervous energy is, I don't know, not the vibe. It's like, as long as she'll let me.
You are very promptly handed the data pad that's essentially the contract of, like, this is what you're upgrading, this is what's expected, and the standard statements of, like, if shit breaks outside of the clinic, we are not liable.
Yeah. Well, Tia is gonna sign the contract, and there's a slight second as she looks at it. She, I had to roll for this, almost signed the wrong name. It's like, no, not lying here. Stop it. No, she'll sign the name she's currently using. Hand it back over after giving it a good once over.
There's a nod, and she sends the information back to Raven. Raven, you know that as a sign of, like, okay, the intake is done. They're in the chair. This is what has already been done to them. So you know that it is a slightly more difficult upgrade if there is already a prior upgrade in this droid's head. But not overly so, considering the 2 upgrades that are there. But the Twi'lek just gives a little nod and kind of a wave. Our technician will be with you shortly, and hopefully everything is to your standards. I will be at the front desk if you need anything. And before you have any chance to, like, say yes, no, ask a question, she is turning on her heels and leaving. Raven, you've got this information. Do you immediately leave, or are you the type that makes him wait just a little bit?
I think they would look over it to see if there was any sign that these people were from Chirka.
You don't recognize the name, and you do know that if this is indeed a medical droid, Shirka does not make medical droids.
They relax a little, and then they head out.
Would you like to describe Raven for everybody as you exit the door and see Tia and Mindy in front of you?
If there was any kind of general description you were given beforehand, it would be that they're a weird Pantoran. They have light blue skin, shoulder-length blue hair, and red eyes, which don't look cybernetic, so there's a lot of questions about why that's red. They're slight of build, and instead of wearing any sort of technician smock, they wear a padded jacket, as if they're kind of ready to leave at any notice. Their face is pretty blank most of the time, and manages to convey a subtle panic, even when totally blank.
What's up with this place? Why are all the staff on edge?
Excuse
y'all
me,
okay?
just walk in. You just walk into your legal clinic.
Listen, we were told by our boss.
It's not our fault.
Debate an appointment.
There is up and down, like look as like, the technician is here. Smile, little finger gun wave. From Tia, standing next to Mindy. Hi there. Are you the technician we've heard so much about?
Yes, but heard from where?
Did they just get even more nervous?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Tia just looks, blinks. Your coworker did mention you quite a few times.
Oh, okay. So I see from the datapad you are looking to have a additional modification installed.
That is correct.
Hmm.
Does Mindy actually have the neural recorder, or does Tia have it?
I would assume Mindy would have it.
Okay, then she'll hold it out.
Raven takes it and kind of looks it over, trying to see what brand it is and is it in good condition, whether or not it's aftermarket.
Hmm. Do you mind if I ask you a bit about it? I am quite curious about what you're about to do.
By all means.
So, how does this procedure work? What's exactly going to happen to Mindy Doll?
Well, it's very similar to a medical procedure. The patient will be put under for the duration of it. And then I will open up the chassis and I'll need to see how the other modifications are installed. Sometimes they're not installed well, and once I'm certain I will begin installation, it won't take very long.
You said it won't take very long, or it can take very long?
Won't.
Won't. Oh, that's good to hear. And how long do you think this will take exactly?
I don't know, asking specific timing questions. How long does the procedure normally take?
For a neural implant, it usually takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours if you want it done well.
So I have 2 ranks of cyberneticist, which decreases implant time by... Or actually, no, it doesn't decrease time, that just decreases cost. Well,
Hmm.
Should be 1 to 2 hours.
Alright, that's not too bad then. And how long will this take for her to recover from this and to be back up to full functioning?
Droids are much simpler than sentience. We'll be able to bring her back online immediately.
And will the implant be operational?
Yes.
That's wonderful to hear. How long have you been doing this?
Where did you say you heard about me?
Dia just tilts her head, looks up towards the doorway where the receptionist left. From the receptionist, she did mention the technician would be with us soon.
But why did you come to the receptionist?
So the thing about receptionists is that they are right next to the front door. So we did have to speak with her first in order to get here.
We don't advertise this as cybernetics clinic.
Oh, you don't?
The front is up front.
From what I've heard, you guys are incredibly talented, so a simple cybernetics job wouldn't be too much trouble for you.
From what you heard from where?
Are you alright? You look a bit shaky. Did you want to sit down before you begin?
I'm fine. Are you avoiding the question?
He just looks, tilts her head. It's a bit of an odd question. Our employer told us about this place to get Mindy as right as rain.
I'm just going to come out and ask. It wasn't Chirka, was it?
Tia blinks. And what's the vibe here?
The longer that Tia's not answered the question, like the panic's just been kind of ratcheting up.
Okay.
It's like, why? I just asked you where you heard about me from. The receptionist, it's a front. There's no reason that she would say the volunteer that out of hand, but I keep asking you where you heard about me from, and you're not answering.
And Tia just like, I don't know who the fuck you are. We were just told the technician will be with you.
But
So
I am so happy that Tia went to this instead of Kana.
what? She's just gonna hold up a hand, just like, okay, calm down. I think there might be a bit of a misunderstanding here. We're not with Circa.
Visible relax.
She's just thinking like, man, who the fuck is this person? And she's just going to just like, okay, visible relax. Okay, can't have our fucking doctor have a panic attack here. It's like, right, and no, we're not. We're just completely separate from that. But what was your name again? It wasn't mentioned before.
It's Raven. Raven Velton.
I'm assuming T don't know that.
No.
Yeah. And just a smile. She's trying to be as calm and like welcoming and just like, okay, I'm gonna try and ease off this anxiety as much as I fucking can with my demeanor. Gonna hold out a hand to shake. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Tila, and this here is Mindy. We simply came to get the cybernetic installed, and we were told by our employer that we should be able to just pop in and be seen by a professional.
Raven kind of awkwardly accepts the handshake and then goes for a handshake with Mindy.
Mindy will shake her hand.
What's the panic level at? Everything's chill?
Like
Still chill?
average evening sight out panic, you know? Just no frills, standard panic.
Okay. Good. Tia's just thinking, why am I surrounded by people that just give me stress?
Well, excuse me.
No, not even. It's just with Iffy, with fucking Mindy.
All we had to do was say who told you about me.
She's like,
And
I don't know,
you just
Jack.
wouldn't. You just wouldn't.
Literally the receptionist. That's it. And she's just, okay, cool handshake. Right, now, do you mind if I ask a bit why you're so concerned about Circa?
You could ask.
Are you going to answer, or do I have to say pretty please?
Let's say I'm not in Shirka's good graces.
And she nods. So you were worried that they'd found you? Is that what I'm picking up here?
Yes.
And how long have you been avoiding them? If you don't mind me asking.
Just a few months.
And you've just been here being a cybernetics technician the entire time?
I have to earn a living somehow, and I don't have all of my papers, and I like cybernetics.
I feel like that piques Tia's interest. You don't have all your papers. There's the head tilt. Not all of your papers? Which ones are you missing?
Most of them. I don't come from the city, I come from the Undercity.
From here or somewhere else?
It's the Coruscant Undercity.
Yes.
Okay. So, what papers do you have?
I have a citizen ID, and that's mostly it.
Now, DM, is that normal?
No.
Okay, cool. Tia just pulls out a little washer. Starts flipping it between her fingers. She lets out a hum. And did you work with Circa, or?
This is a lot of questions.
I am a bit curious. It's not every day I meet someone who only has an ID.
Why don't we start the procedure?
She'll relent. It's like, right, that is why we're here. I am a bit sorry. I do get a bit distracted sometimes.
That's okay. We can talk during it if you would like to keep talking.
I would love to.
Oh,
And I think I don't want to interrupt.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where we're going to call it today because that's a very
Little
funny place
pause.
to end.
Yep.
And going forward for the next little bit, we're going to revert back to skip 1 where we are interweaving some things
Mhm.
Cool.
rather than focusing on one scene and getting all the way through that scene. So we will start with somebody else next session and then jump back to this probably as the second part of the second scene before we get to the next person or the next
Okay.
group. So that is your
Cool.
forewarning. The next couple of sessions are probably going to be everybody getting little tiny 15-20 minute sections jumping in between.
Sounds good.
And
Thank
we
you,
now
Z.
have a Matt.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you,
Just like, we can talk during the procedure. Yes, absolutely. I would love to talk with you during the procedure. Oh god,
no.
she actually took me up on that.
She said yes. Oh fuck.
She said yes. Who the fuck says yes? Tia. Tia does. Tia loves talking with people.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I had to be quiet about who goes where. Because it is your decision, and also Tia's gonna be a lot.